last resort. Thought I have to try something. Never thought I'd
It's Sunday, August 9th, and you've tuned into the People's Patriot Project. We got your 6 at 6. Right now, you're listening to WeP3 Radio, proudly produced in partnership with Reason Across America Radio. Together, we share a mission to remember the fallen, honor those who have served, and teach the future generations the value of freedom. Freedom secured, bought and paid for by the brave men and women who have worn our national and local uniform. Stay tuned for We Got Your 6 at 6. Now playing on WeP3 Radio, our good friend out of Nashville, Don Ricks, with Painkiller.
just be my be my don't say a word, just help me say good.
Left your left, left right, your left. You got it.
Trucker. Conquerors. Roll out. You're watching or listening to We Got Your 6 at 6 Patriot Playtime. We the people, the People's Patriot Project.
To put your skill set, your thoughts, and ideas, or want to help continue the mission, you have come to the right place. We are the People's Patriot Project, and we are the shock and awe when it comes to meeting the needs of our veterans and first responders. We are dealing with a new enemy in today's world where the wounds are not always seen. We want you to be a part of this mission in saving lives and making a difference. Welcome to We Got Your 6 at 6 Patriot Playtime. Here's the WeP3 team bringing you today's best heroes hits in the boots on the ground organizations that are saving lives. And as always, Patriot Pride.
Left your left, left right, your left. You got it.
Trucker.
Y'all don't really want it like here comes the y'all don't really want it like
I'm Mark Peterson with the People's Patriot Project, and we are here for We Got Your 6 at 6. I know this might be a little bit of a shocker. Andrea is not here tonight. She is exactly where she needs to be. She's doing some family stuff tonight. And I also got to say, Frank is not with us tonight as well. He's exactly where he needs to be. He's out taking care of his family and doing the things he needs to do. So we are here to be part of the episode 317 of We Got Your 6 at 6. And we have an amazing guest tonight. He's blowing up the world in music, folks, out of California. We got Chris Lozano here. Super excited to have him. And we're going to get rolling here real fast, real quick. There's some things we got to do. I'm going to read the script because Andrea does such an amazing job. Andrea Eichmann here. No, just kidding. Mark Peterson here with the People's Patriot Project. And it'll be me and Chris Lozano. We're going to bring you our weekly show called We Got Your 6 at 6. Every week we have a guest and an artist, and we hear about and share about the good and sometimes the bad, and just kind of lighten the load, loosen up the things, and get rolling. Tonight we're hosting Mr. Lozano. Again, like I said, Music World, bringing us music out of California, doing a lot of things. He's also signed with Label 22, had some conversations with some other people in regards, all good stuff. And so this is what we're doing. To get a little bit of light of some of the things that are going on in the world, August is Agent Orange Awareness. Observed annually. It is actually observed on August 10th to honor impact veterans, mark the history of chemical use and in the Vietnam War, and promote health education, remembering service members and civilians harmed by the toxic herbicides containing dioxin. Also, this month in August, we celebrate the Military Marriage Day. 2026 celebrated on August 14th, focusing specifically on honoring the commitment of resilience of military couples. We have some amazing sponsors out there. We have Derek Iozio with Catch 22. Derek is doing his thing. It's all peer support, and they make it happen. We have leaned heavily on Derek and what he's doing, and we're really excited about the work he puts into making sure people know exactly what support looks like. And Derek Iozio is right here, right now. We call him the Godfather, and we love having Derek in the network and what he's doing with the People's Patriot Project and also Catch 22. Then we have Peggy and Bobby Krutzinger out with Operation Texas Strong, superstars in the veteran support world. What they do is they take RVs from across the country, they rehabilitate them if needed, and then they put them out there for veterans to use for housing down in the southern states. They have a campground going. It's not really a campground, but it's a place where they can park campers and bring veterans in. They also have a thrift store to help maintain and accommodate the needs of veterans and first responders down in that space. We have helped Bobby and Peggy with RV distribution all across the southern states, and they've been an amazing benefactor and also support for the People's Patriot Project. And so we want to thank Bobby and Peggy for all the amazing things that they do. And then lastly, but not finally, we've got Stephen Rainwater and Jonathan Wills with Builder Growth Engine. Now, I'm telling you, folks, if there is anything that you need in the technology world, these guys put our website together. Websites have always been an issue with us. Not that it's been an issue with us, but having the right relationship. And I think we're there. I think we found it. We went through as many web masters, so to speak, in the number of years that the People's Patriot Project has been live. And they just do an amazing job, and they accommodate all the things that need to be accommodated. And they're working on some gigantic technology things for the People's Patriot Project that you're going to hear about soon. We want to share and thank all of our sponsors, our guests, and our listeners. Thank you. Before we dive into this week's show, please take a moment to join us for our rendition and version of the Star Spangled Banner, brought to you by Dave Bray, USA.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take the time to stand if you are capable of standing. Out of honor and respect, please remove your covers and prepare yourself how you need to show your greatest gratitude for the amazing freedoms and liberties we have achieved under one of the most powerful symbols in the world. Please cast your attention as we respect our old glory.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets trembling, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land under the fray, and the home of the brave? Because we are the brave. Yes, we are the brave. We'll fight you in name, the name of the brave. We are the US of A. For those unaware, that flag is still there. It's our future to save, this land of the brave, the US of A. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free, in the home of the
Patriot Pride.
It is August 9th, and you are here for We Got Your 6 at 6.
say, God bless our troops, God bless America, and gentlemen, start your
Let's go. And here it goes. On the loop. On the loop. We got it on the loop all night. We'll have it playing all night long, folks. No, we won't. All right. Hey, if it's a little chaotic, I apologize. Usually the amazing team is here to take care of all the little tiny things. Andrea does the intro, does an amazing job. She's rehearsed it 317 times. I've got to do it like 4 or 5 times, so I don't know all the nuances. So, and Chris deserves the best that we got because he is one of the best out there. So, Chris, thank you for being here, brother.
Absolutely, man. Thank you for having me here.
So we put everyone to work when we come here. This is for the listeners. Miss Romick, good to see you out of Cody, Wyoming.
Hey, how are you?
We put everyone to work. You have a job when you come here because when I address our board, my conversation with them is we are doers. We're going to do something. To not do something is doing exactly that, not doing something. And we want to make a difference. We have a little message we're going to hear from one of our spokespersons. We have Bastian the Bison, and he's got a little message for you.
At the People's Patriot Project, our mission is more than just words. It's a call to action. Each of us bears the vital responsibility to check your six. We begin this important journey with a moment of self-assessment. Ask yourself, are you truly mission ready? If the answer is no, don't wait in silence. Reach out, use your skills, lean into your resources, and connect with your network. Whether you turn to a trusted friend, a supportive organization, or dial 988, remember, you must be battle ready to stand strong for the mission ahead. Once you feel equipped, take that next step. Reach out to 6 people in your circle. Check in on them. No agenda, no judgment, just genuine connection. This is how we build strength, shield one another, and serve our communities with pride. Together, we reaffirm our commitment. We got this. Patriot Pride.
So that part of the mission is called Check Your Six. Now, it's a play on word, folks. I don't know if you caught that. I know Bastian seems a little quirky, and that is like, why are you putting this dumb buffalo on there? First of all, we wanted a majestic symbol of the United States to send the message. So we created Bastian. The other question is, okay, why? And me and Chris kind of talked about this a little bit pre-show. I got tired of listening to people say, why didn't I reach out? Or why didn't I say I love you one more time? Or the one that kind of ticks me off, why didn't they reach out to me when they were having problems? Because that's not the way it works, folks. But the way it does work right now is all of us have a device in our presence somewhere. And what could happen is that you could save someone's life today by typing in, I was just thinking about you. I just want to check in on you. I want checking your 6 brother, sister. Copy and paste it, send it to 6 different people. There's only 5 figures on this hand, but I got this one over here. Send it to 6 people. And sorry, not sorry. I mean, I've read a lot of content recently about how the human psyche is built. And of course, let's not get too deep into this, but we are meant and built for relationships. And the only thing we're asking you to do is continue your reach and being part of the relationships you've created. I would like to challenge you on one. And I do this. I lost a good friend. I was the best man in his wedding. He couldn't be the best man in my wedding because he was stuck on a sub out in the Atlantic. We lost him because of his consumption. And it wasn't the kind it wasn't one of those things where he was a like lifelong alcoholic or anything like that. It was just too much. And we got sideways at one point. Not because of that. There was other stuff, life stuff, and this was someone that was very special to me. And I know that through after we lost him, the conversations he was having with some others, all we had to do is not be a bunch of pig-headed turds and just reach out to each other. And it's not that I carry that as a weight in my life. I did end up having to speak at his funeral because everyone still thought we were that close and tight, and which is good. His mother reached out to me personally, said, "Will you speak at Kevin's funeral?" And I'm like, "Yes, I will." And I could do nothing more than honor him in that situation. But literally, if I would have just connected, I'm not saying he would still be here. I'm just saying could have been. And that's the other thing. And that goes back to that conversation about if you're doing nothing, then you're doing nothing. And that's the reality. So 6 contacts, reach out to them, do a hard one if you can, try and bring those relationships back to life and really let people know that you're there. There's a lot of people in our network that do this for me as well. I'd like to say thank you to Scotty Frazier, who regularly is reaching out, just seeing how things are going. And we're also networking to making sure that we're trying to move forward in all the things that we're trying to do. He's a musician down there in Texas. Do you know Scotty Frazier, Chris?
I don't. I've heard of his name, but I don't know him.
Yeah. Artist out of the Houston area. So great man, great mission, has Sergeant Records and does his thing. But again, special person in my life and the fact that he's always checking my 6. And there's others, but that's the one that I got most recently. So Chris Lozano, you're here. We appreciate that.
No worries. Thank you for having me on here, man.
Tell us who you are and tell us what your mission is, brother.
Well, as you know, my name is Chris Lozano. I'm a former 03 out of the Marine Corps side of the house. And now I'm a professional musician. I travel all over the country. My band and I play everywhere. But for me, one of my biggest things, I'd say my mission is, other than the military, is actually the same thing you're saying, is that, dealing with everybody heard, 22 a day, dealing with that, trying to help out as many as you can. I'm guilty of doing that, not reaching out, but I catch myself sometimes, and I will reach out to some of the guys I was stationed with, whether they answer or not, just to let them know I'm still here. So that's my mission when it comes out of music. But music-wise is to bring as much entertainment, as much fun to the crowd than that they thought they would get, so to speak. The way we work it is that we're not there to play our music; we're there for you to be part of the show, and that's what we always do our music-wise.
I love it. So, originals or covers?
Obviously, when you go certain places, you have to play covers, but we throw our originals in there, and there's some places that's never heard of us. We throw our originals in there, and they'll dance and all that stuff and everything too, and we'll come back after the song. Oh yeah, by the way, that's one of our original songs and everything. So kind of get the feel of people. It's kind of the way we test our songs. We get out there.
We had the awesome opportunity. We brought Scotty Hastings, Shannon Book, and JT and the Gunslingers up to an event up here in Minnesota a couple years back, and it was, everyone loves, especially the veterans in the veteran genre, love hearing the originals, but the covers are what get people on their feet, and get them dancing and doing the things and moving around. And there might have been, like, even in this staged area for this event, people were taking their clothes off, does that happen for you regularly?
I can't say regularly, but yes, it does happen.
The benefits, right? The benefits.
Well, yeah, you got to tell
or not. Can you please put that back on, sir? Whatever. Yeah. Yes, put that back on.
Yeah, there's some. Yeah, we'll just leave it at that.
You're coming hot off an event from last night. Tell us about that.
Yeah, actually, we got asked by the city of Marietta down here in Southern California to come play for them. And usually most of the time it's like a concert in the park kind of thing. But the cool thing about it before the show, what they do is that they did last night is that they took, when you go down the streets here, whether it be Menifee, Temecula, Marietta, or in our area that I'm at, you'll see on the light post the banners that they have of all the military personnel up there that are serving or have served that live in that area, you know. So they honor them that way, which is really awesome. And last night they asked me, I was in the green room, came and asked me like, "Hey Chris, can you sing the national anthem for us?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" Went out there and sang, and it was really awesome. But after I sang, they did the retirement of banners because they're going to replace them with some other banners. But they do a retirement of the banners, hand it out, you know, have a big old thing. All the people are sitting out front in their VIP chairs, you know, their families are with them. They'll tell them what it's for, why everybody's there, and then they'll start retiring the banners. They'll call their names, have them come up. They'll hand them the banner. They'll take pictures with them and all that other stuff. Then they just go on and on that way, which is I hadn't seen a city do that before, but that was actually really awesome to see them do that.
And
but,
you said this was a relatively large event. And
it was. I think they said we had a little over, it's either 3 or a little over 3,000 people there last night. They said just throughout the whole night, coming in and going and all that stuff. But it was really fun. And obviously covers, you have to do covers for people to get up and dance. And like you say, we had video of some people took some videos of us doing our original songs. And one of the songs that we play all over the country, no matter where, it's called Boots on Sacred Ground. And it's the way I honored, I wrote that for all my brothers who never came home from Iraq, Afghanistan, and their families, the Gold Star families. So we do that, and last night somebody has a video of us singing it, but you can see a lot of the crowd singing it with us. So they've heard it before, which is really awesome, and people dancing and all that stuff. And we got like a standing ovation last night, you know, for it, which was really, you know, made me happy. But after that, it was a party, had fun. People dancing, getting in with the crowd, you know. So I mean, when you see almost 3,000 people, a little over maybe, just up dancing, they have at night these little glow stick things, and you know, it was rowdy. It was pretty rowdy. So
I think this sounds like a good lead-in. Tell us more about Boots on Sacred Ground.
Okay, Boots on Sacred Ground. About, I want to say, not this last Memorial Day, but last year. It kind of hit me really hard. It was the first time in a long time that day actually hit me really hard. You know, memories of, you know, my brothers and everything going on and all that. And I went outside, you know, had poured me some Jack and went outside and sat down, and I took my notebook with me. And my wife knows when I'm starting to have a hard time issue, she'll kind of let me have my space a little bit so I can kind of, you know, get my thoughts under order. But my thoughts were just going so much. I just started writing, and that was one of the first songs I wrote one time. I just didn't have to correct nothing or anything. I wrote it out. It was just everything on my mind that I thought, and I put it together, and that was the only song I wrote, and I didn't have to change up. And it just came out. I put some guitar, you know, some acoustic behind it. Sent it to my producer, Eddie Gore, out in Nashville. And, you know, we came together and put it together. And I put that out there November 10th of this last year, and wrinkled birthday. But I wanted to put it out there for all, you know, my Marine buddies and their families and all that.
This is Chris Lozano, Boots on Sacred Ground.
Dusty boots on a red clay road, letters home in a weathered coat, photographs in a pocket worn thin, dreams of coming back again. Marine's prayer in the midnight air, a flag that waves on an empty chair, They carried hope where the wild wind blows. Freedom's price only heaven knows. Raise your glass, tip your hat for the ones who won't come back. The stories echo through the land, written in the lines of a working man's hand. They gave it all, no looking down, laid their hearts on sacred ground. Outlaws, heroes, sons and daughters, fighting for what really matters. So let the stars and stripes fly high, let the thunder roll and the eagle cry. Remember every name and sound of boots that walked on sacred ground. Barbed wire fences, a porch light on, Gold Star family trying to stay strong. Old dog tags in a dresser drawer, echoes of laughter, now the memories and more. Rolling hills to desert sand, they drew the line, they took a stand. A rebel spirit, brave and proud, the silence beats so damn loud. Raise your glass, tip your hat for the ones who won't come back. The stories echo through the land, written in the lines of a working man's hand. They gave it all, no looking down, laid their hearts on sacred ground. Outlaws, heroes, sons and daughters, fighting for what really matters. So let the stars and stripes fly high, let the thunder roll and the eagle cry. Remember every name and sound, the boots that walked on sacred ground. There's a cross on a hillside, a name carved in stone, but the spirit rides the wind, and we're never alone. Raise your voice to the midnight skies for the brave who never said goodbye. So light the fire, let the stories ring. Freedom's song is what we sing. With every dawn we stand our ground for the boots that walked on sacred ground. Boots on sacred ground.
That's Chris Lozano, Boots on Sacred Ground.
Yeah, it was that's one of my obviously one of my favorite songs I did, and like I told everybody out that I know, and I told my wife this, especially my wife, is that I could care less if this song goes big. I could care less if it goes like charts or anything like that, but as long as the right people hear it, and it touches them, that's all that matters to me on that one. So
you're kind of ruining things a little bit, just so that you know, Chris. You claim to be a Marine, and that song make me believe you have a heart, and so that's I don't know what your other buddies say and stuff about it, but it's not smashing beers on your forehead and jumping off of buildings and going to maim people. But absolutely, it took me to a place, man, and I guess that's the kind of song that invites you on the journey with you.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I felt it. I mean, there's something there, and then you're grasping to see what the overall message is. What is that overall message for you?
The overall message for me is that people tend to forget why we have our freedoms. They tend to forget why we get to do what we do on a given day. And it's because those guys that went and fought those fights wrote that check that they know that once they cash it, they're never seeing their families again or anybody else, you know, but they were okay with that. And it's also to their families knowing that we didn't forget them. We never will forget them, because their child, their husband, or, you know, whoever it is, sacrificed their life so we could come back here and live ours. So that's the message behind that one, that they'll never be forgotten. No matter what people do, they will always be up front, memorized. You know, it just, for me anyways, that's my message.
Chris Lozano's information is in here. His Spotify account is in here. Go check out Chris Lozano. And if there's any other links you want us to get in here, Chris, let us know. Also, Chris is live, not currently this minute, but he's up on WeP3 Radio. We've had him on for about a month. One of the great parts of the conversation with Chris is we had him booked a minute ago, and he did all the right things. I'm just going to say that. We don't get that all the time. Tonight might be an example of this a little bit, but when he saw the conflict, in fact, he was going to make it work. And I'm like, no, we're not making it work, because there was a birthday in the family.
Yeah.
We were doing a thing. And I'm like, no, family first, dog. I go, this is not a hard thing to do. We will just reschedule you, which I'm full-heartedly 100% happy we did that. I think we brought Scotty Frazier in that week, actually. We just talked about it. And I'm almost positive Scotty Frazier came in and filled in the spot. So
awesome. And I'm glad it worked out. I really am, man. And I appreciate you doing that. I really do. And that not just to me, meant a lot to me, but also to my daughter, you know. So when she heard that, hey, you know, that dad's coming with you, you know, so she was pretty happy.
Had to be done, brother. Not even a hard thing to do. So, so we were talking a little bit before the show, and we don't get a chance to really dig into the deep stuff a lot of times with our guests, because we go into a 2-hour show with what we're doing when we have 5 people on the show. It's just you and me tonight. But we kind of got into a little bit of a conversation. We have some people on our network that have lost some people recently. There's never a good way, which reminds me, I'm going to do a quick shout out to Lee Williams. He's part of the WeP3 board. Ran into some stuff this week. We're with you, brother. Just so you know, we're with you. You got this. He was very divulgent in some of how he felt about some things, and it was some scary stuff. And I'm just like, you know what, we're with you. I also want to do a quick shout out to Adam Bird. He runs Heroes Media Group, and some of the stuff him and his world, what they're doing. We're with you, Adam. I'm sure you know that. And yeah, I don't know what to say, man, more than we're with you. Phil Cook, good to see you, brother. Another guy down in the big state, deep in the heart of Texas.
How you doing, Phil Cook?
And Phil Cook, I want to do a quick shout out to that brother too. He's him and his world is dealing with some stuff. We're with you. We got you. We're gonna get through this together. Patriot pride, brother, and all those people in your world. We got this. Some of the conversation we were leaning into was that things might be a little different now than they have been in the past. I just wanted to know more of your perspective in that.
Yeah, when I got out, for instance, dealing with that right there, what we're talking about, there wasn't much help. There it was starting to be more help, you know, obviously because people getting out from Iraq, Afghanistan, and stuff like that. But there was help, but it wasn't as in depth as it is right now for some people, from what I'm hearing. But it just, I know it's still rough out there for people, you know, that are dealing with those emotions and stuff that we talked about, dealing with the thoughts of, you know, constant loss of hope, everything, the depression, all that stuff. My thought on the whole thing is that, it's a double-edged sword for me. It's the reason being is because, getting out of the military, being in the infantry for 15 years, it does take a toll not on your body, but your mind, and from my experience, when you get to that point where you feel like there's nothing worth fighting for, I guess you could say, because nobody cares, and your mind, nobody cares and stuff like that, it's very hard to pull yourself out of that. It really is. For me, what helped me the most is I have a woman by my side that has been with me since the age of 19, actually even more longer than that. I think we started dating at the age of 14. And she kept it real with me. There's no cushioning anything. And she helped pull me out of that hole, and she got me the help I needed. She fought for me to get the help that I needed. And I think there's a lot of people that don't have that kind of support. So, and in a way, that's the only way they could turn to, losing, removing themselves from the equation, so to speak. But for me, I just wish they would have that kind of support. And then if they do have that support, they might not know exactly how to help them. You know what I mean? So.
Well, and we get tied into this conversation regularly, and that I'm interested now. You're saying you found kind of your help and your support internally, and we acknowledge that a lot of people may or may not have that kind of support. I constantly look up the information because the numbers change so much. Right now, as we're sitting here at this particular moment, it says that there are 45,000 registered nonprofits and tax-exempt organizations in the United States that are dedicated to supporting veterans and first responders. Okay. At times, we've heard that number is as large as 86,000. And what we have come to find out is we've literally not only muddied the waters, but we popped smoke at the same time, and we don't know what front we're going after. And so when our veterans are coming out, now that's also the other part of the story I want to make sure we get out there. Not all veterans need social emotional support. It is what it is. We also found there's so much data that's out there that roughly over 70% of the people that are dealing with things post-service, we're coming to find out a lot of that stuff existed prior service, before they were 17, because we're getting 17 to 24-year-olds starting in the service. They're putting their life on hold because now they're going to play big people world.
Yeah.
And when you join the military, that's exactly what it is. So anything that was in the closet prior to that gets put on hold and is not dealt with. You don't have time to deal with that. You have to A, dig a foxhole, B, back when I was in, you had to shine your boots. You had to do all these other things, and it did not matter, because if you were a risk to a mission, they found another way to cycle through another place. And no one wanted to do that. And relationships were built, and no one wanted to let anyone down, and all these things. We all get to the point where we feel there's nothing left to fight for. The biggest thing that there actually are folks out there that help us get through it. Amen, brother. Phil Cook, I started reading this next one. Phil Cook has always been there for us and helping veterans. He just commented on another. That's why the People's Patriot Project was built. When we saw this, the short message, we saw confusion where there should have been clarity. There was isolation where there should have been community, and there were obstacles where there should have been opportunities. We believe there's a better way to connect with people with the help that they need, and that belief continues to drive everything that the People's Patriot Project does today, because we want to shine. We want to pop the illume, and we want people to see where they're going.
Yep.
And we want to make sure there is a clear path. And you know what? A lot of times that requires education. Sometimes you got to put your stuff on hold because remember, you put the military in the middle of what you had to deal with to begin with. You might have to put life on hold, which sucks and is scary, but you have to figure out the maze of confusion. Yeah. And there are organizations out there. I won't say all 45,000 organizations out there are in the best interests of all of our veterans. We also take on the mission of first responders, but reach out to your leadership. Chris Lozano in the Marines as an 03. It's do any of your guys reach out to you for support ever?
Actually, you know what? Still to this day, when I talk to certain guys, actually, when I talk to any of them, I still get, hey, Staff Sergeant, how you doing? You know, which is, that makes me happy because, you know, we built that kind of relationship. But when they do call me or they text me, you know, it doesn't matter what time of the day it is. Or, you know, it could be midnight, 2 a.m, 3, whatever. I've actually had guys text me. They'll reach out and it's just sometimes they just need somebody to vent to, you know, somebody just to get stuff off their chest. And I've told all of them. I told them before I got out, no matter what time it is, reach out to me. And now these days, these guys, I had somebody write me said, you know, I know you're starting to get bigger with the music and all that. And I was like, I don't care. I could be 4-time entertainer of the year on tour and all that stuff. If you need to talk, you talk to me. You know, you reach out. You know, I don't. If I have to put something on pause for an hour, well, it's getting put on for an hour, whenever you're done talking. You know, because my priority is my mission never stopped when I got out. As an 0369 in the infantry, my job was not only just to take care of my Marines and make sure their mission was complete. You know what I mean? And if they're trying to cut that mission short, my job is still to be there to take care of them, help them out. That's what I feel. You know what I mean? And sometimes there's guys that in the past I tried to reach out to and I couldn't help them. And lo and behold, they removed themselves from the equation. You know, and it took a long time for me to realize that it wasn't, you know, anything I did wrong, because I felt bad. You know, I felt like I failed them. But no matter how many times you reach out to somebody, you can, you know, if they're not willing to get help or if they feel like there's nothing you can do for them, it's going to be hard to reach them. It really is. So as an infantryman, it's a consistent thing still to this day. You know.
Did you get to take your guitar with you where you were doing your stuff?
Actually, I got to Iraq and for me to pass time, they actually had a guitar there. They brought like instruments and stuff in there for guys for downtimes if they just came back off missions, did their thing, and just weren't going back out, you know, until the rotation again or whatever. I went and got the guitar and I started playing with it, you know, and all that stuff. And but it wasn't really as in depth as it was right now. You know, I'd play guitar and everything. If somebody heard me play guitar and everything, or they heard me singing and everything too, just in my little area, you know, by myself, you know, just kind of had my earbuds in. And they like when we get back, they're like, hey, Staff Sergeant, you can get your guitar. Then I come to realize when I was playing certain songs or whatever, it was just it was chill for them because it took their mind off what we had to do or what was coming up or whatever, so they could focus a little bit more. I had guys that sat there and they just sit there, and, you know, drink their sodas or whatever and all that stuff, smoking their cigarettes, and they come to tell me afterwards we got back that it was very therapeutic for them just to hear live music, you know, that and it when I heard that, then I realized, you know, maybe I can start doing this a little bit more, you know, to help these guys. And that's why one of the reasons why I started, you know, when I actually, as in depth as I am right now, that's one of the reasons why I started.
How long have you been involved with music?
Actually, singing wise and stuff, I started when I was a young kid, man. When I was young, believe it or not, I didn't start singing country. I wasn't a country singer. My old man, he listened to, I mean, don't get me wrong, he listened to country music, Charlie Pride, Waylon Jennings, Willie Nelson, Chris Christopherson, the Highwaymen, or, all these other guys and everything too. But he was a big, big fan of Motown music. And I started singing like Commodore stuff. I started singing like when Lionel Richie had his stuff out and everything. I mean, it's people like that. That's where I learned how to sing. So, but when I was a young kid, that's where it started. And I've been in since I started about 8, 9 years old. So, a long time singing. Professionally, probably, honestly, professionally, I'd say probably in the last 8 years, 6 years, 7 years, something like that.
Is this the only thing you're doing now is music?
Yep. I'm a full-time musician.
Killing it. You labeled or you named off a lot of mainstream musicians. Is there anyone that you kind of lay a claim to as being your influence?
My major influence? Honestly, still to this day is like when it was Garth Brooks in his younger days, it's the way he'd put on a show and all that stuff. And that was one of my major influences for live shows. Doing that was him, it's because I wanted to do that for the crowds. I felt it was my job as an entertainer, not like I said before, not just to entertain, like sing to them, entertain them, but to make them part of the whole show. So it's not just a show they're watching; it's an experience they have. And that's something that one of my biggest influences, live shows. So,
did you ever get to see Garth live?
Never seen him live.
I want to take time because we have time. I got in a little bit of trouble in my world, and I was supposed to go play football for a D1 school, and I kind of dropped the ball, and I did some stuff that someone else convinced me to do. Blah blah blah. It got me in trouble, but I was communicating with said school, and I found another school to play football for, and I still had a relationship with this team, and I would play for this other team, and come to find out the team I was playing for didn't have any sanctions. And so I didn't know how long, just mathematically it was working out, blah, blah, blah. So every minute I was playing, or every season or whatever, I was playing for this other team, it wasn't counted against my eligibility.
Oh, that's cool.
And so I'm like, hey, this is going to get me in a good spot. Good. Well, this team, my season was over, and they still had some games to play. And I got a message from the coaching staff, and they're like, well, why don't you come out here for this next game? And I'm like, okay, really cool. They were going to play San Diego State. And Chris McCoy was playing for him at the time. That I'm dating myself here a little bit because this goes back a minute. And so me and some buddies drove out there. One of my friends was dating Miss Wyoming Rodeo at the time. He was actually out in my school, and we had to stop and spearfish and pick her up. And we didn't have cell phones at this time. And I'm like, okay, we'll meet you at Blimpie's at this time tomorrow. Well, they don't show up. Well, we're going out to watch the game, but we also know there's a concert on that night. And we've never heard of this person that we're going to go to this concert. And my little buddy, Gino, he's got the new cassette of this guy. He's like, oh, yeah, here it is. We'll play it. And everyone's kind of loving it as we're driving out to Wyoming, wherever that is. It's a 1,000-mile drive. And so we're driving. Well, Miss Rodeo Wyoming has the backstage tickets for us for this concert and our tickets. And so we don't need them at Blimpie's. There's no one there. No one's at Blimpie's. I mean, there are plenty of people because it's a college town, but the people we needed to connect with, and of course, the only opportunity we had is to go back to my buddy's dorm and call a phone number in Cheyenne. Do you know where they're at? No, they should call back. Okay, here's the number I'm at. But we're college town. I mean, we're college time. We're out doing what college kids do. We're not sitting by the phone. So life's life. So I look at my buddy and I'm like, you want to go to this concert? And he goes, oh, yeah, I kind of want to go to this concert. So we walked up to the stadium and we bought tickets minutes before the concert started. This is in 1990.
Okay.
Over. We get in there. We love this guy, but it's not sold out. And we're not nosebleed, but it's Garth Brooks. And a year later, you cannot get tickets to the dude anywhere. In fact, he comes to Minnesota and there was lotteries that were going on to get tickets to go to his sold outs. And back then they didn't do like let's do 3 nights in a row. Well, then he turns around and does a 3-night stint in here. Just crazy. But I felt like I was a real part of the beginning of I made Garth Brooks who he is today. That's where I'm going to go. Not true. But to watch that guy, I literally a year later, my parents came out to watch a football game, and his new album was out, and we're listening to Cowboy, and it's just like this guy is on fire, and it was just we were young and watching, and so not a bad choice. And I hear he's got some new stuff coming out here soon.
Yeah, so that's what I heard. So I'm kind of interested to hear.
Even a new tour and everything. I don't know. I got to watch Kiss like 2 years ago on their final, and they had David Lee Roth open for them. And I would just sadly say, know when to hang it up, because that poor guy, there were no less than 3 times where he had to walk over to the speaker and lean against it to catch his breath. And I want to remember David Lee Roth the way he was back in the day. Van Halen, Jump. He tried to do Jump. It wasn't the same Jump as it was 30 years ago, but it was hang it up. Let him go out with grace, man. Let him go out with grace. Let's remember the good times.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
You had something. Go ahead and say what you're going to say.
Oh, I was going to say, it's one of those. I understand what you're saying, but there are some bands out there that, even to this day, you're like, I cannot believe they're still this freaking good. We went and watched Steve Miller Band. We went and watched Def Leppard. We watched Journey, which that was, I think Steve Miller should have went on after Journey personally, but then we watched the Rolling Stones. Took my son to the Rolling Stones. He's a big Rolling Stones fan. So I mean, and the thing about these guys sound just as good, man. But there are some people we watch and like, you want to go? But
here's the piece that I get drawn into this conversation a lot. You name Styx, Journey. Why do you name Styx? But I'm going to say Styx, Journey, Night Ranger, you get into Aerosmith and Kiss, and then Metallica, and these legacy bands that have been around for 30 plus years. And then I tell people, well, name a band from 10 years ago that's still rolling today.
You can't. Not really. Not much.
And it's just like, okay, you can argue, little T Swift, you can do that. Motley Crue, Scorpions, AC/DC, you're not wrong, Phil. You're not wrong. Of course, these were in the wheelhouse of our prime as well. So I mean, those are easy to rattle off. But I mean, I try to stay current with music, and it's just like there's some that I remember their songs, and it's just like, where are they now? And it's not like, I mean, it's 10 years later, but like all those salt and pepper groups are coming out right now again. A lot of them are winning awards for their legacy stuff as well, which is 10 years past where these guys were at. But still, let's get 20 years. Who was there 20 years ago? Who was there 10 years? They're not at the tip of my tongue. They're not.
No. Nope. And that's the truth.
I do not. I think Metallica might be my number one all-time listening, my favorite like band, and I didn't love them as much as when I was a kid, but now that when I sit down and I listen, I'm just like, man. And maybe music, in the world of music, I mean, music's about the memories. Music is about, how it touched you. Music is about the experiences you experienced. Times have changed. Amen, brother. If you could play with anyone in right now, Chris Turner cheated on us last week and said Johnny Cash. Johnny Cash would be pretty awesome to play with, but you'd have to come back. He might have that skill set, to be honest with you. He might be very good. But who would you play with if you had the choice?
Top of my head right now, Cody Johnson.
He's killing it, man. And
he is. Not just that, but he's just a great guy. I mean, he's down to earth. He's a family man. He loves God. I mean, it's just my next one, honestly, for me, I got to throw this one out there too. Okay. The next one would have to be George Strait.
The dude. I love it. George Strait was also on Chris Turner's. Phil Cook wants to play a 5-finger death punch.
That would actually be pretty awesome too. So 5-finger death punch, man. I love those guys.
What is Chris Lozano and his band working on right now?
Right now, what we're doing is we're working on going to be doing our new release here shortly. The new release is going to be out actually September 18th. We're in the process of building everything up. But the new release is going to be called Going Nowhere Fast. And it's more of a kind of chilled vibe, get on the back road, kind of drive, just forget about your worries. You just want to go, like it says, the title, you just want to go nowhere really fast. Just whatever, and that's what that song's about, kind of mindset. So that's going to be coming out September 18th. We are in the process also of getting our show tightened up, put it together a little bit more with our meetings that we have with the band, also just the rehearsals. But we're trying to tighten up a little bit more because we have residency at Old Reds in Las Vegas. We play Gillies all the time out there. And they asked us to be one of the opening bands and have a residency at the new Category 10 opening up in Las Vegas. So we got to get ready for that. And they asked us to play the PBR. And they also asked us to play the NFR. So,
oh my gosh, dude. These are huge opportunities, man.
Absolutely. So, and specifically for the PBR, NFR, I wrote a song called Back on My Feet. It's a song about a bull rider getting out there. Doesn't matter if he jumps out, gets off that bull or whatever and all that stuff, how he falls, how he, he's had the broken bones. He's had, he's been knocked down, all this other stuff. It's what happens after the shows with what he's looking forward to. And it's going out drinking, falling off the bar stool, stuff like that and everything. Just being a cowboy, having fun.
A little note, little Garth Brooks claim right there. Are you a Chris Ledoux fan?
He's one of the reasons why I started doing rodeo when I was younger.
Okay. What'd you do in rodeo?
I was a bull rider.
Oh,
I rode the bulls.
We're close.
My wife made me stop.
So I was 168 coming out of high school.
Yeah.
That's not very big. But that's big for a cowboy. They don't want you on their livestock. And so I became a bull fighter. And but then my dad had some connections with Ike Sankey Productions. And so I got to run bulls all over the country.
Oh, that's awesome.
Which then gave me some other opportunities because that was 1988, 89, 90. And I got to be with some of the best bull riders in the history of the world.
Man.
Tuff Hedeman, Lane Frost, Cody Lambert, Ty Murray. It was crazy. It was crazy fun.
Well, I got to pick up after elephants.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Good to see you, Frank. Good to see you.
Yeah, I'm here.
You are here. Chris, this is Frank the Myth. He's a renowned.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, Chris, how are you, buddy?
Retired from the Pentagon. He was busy tonight. He had places to be, important places to be. Chris, what song you want to go with next?
We did the Boots on Sacred Ground, but one I'd like to go over to is Backroad Nights, man. Reason being is because that's my song I wrote I put everything, aspects of my life together in one song. And growing up, going to the river, hanging out there, fishing, chilling out, riding my truck with my wife, getting on stage, playing, she's up front and all that stuff and everything too. And the great part of this song is I had the honor of having Miss Becca Bramlett sing as my backing vocalist. And for the people to know who she is, she was like for like 3 or 4 years, maybe 5 years, I think it was, but with Fleetwood Mac, she was the lead singer. So, and having her on there, she had some other stuff she did too, but it was just an honor to have her on my recording.
Outstanding. This is Chris Lozano with Backroad Nights.
River's up, truck parked halfway in the grass. Coolers in the shade, letting this day slip past. Speakers kicking out a beat, friends throwing lines. Sun on my shoulder, losing track of time. She slides up, bare feet on the dash, smiling soft, leaning into my lap, cracking a cold one, making the moment last. This is home, out where the pavement ends. Windows down, falling down on dirt bend. Her head on my shoulder, dashboard songs, back road burning, headlights long. We rode from Riverside chill to those downtown neon lights. Pictures from just living those back road nights. Evening turning slow, fires gaining ground. DJs in the corner setting low vibes down. Plugging out the bar, crowds leaning in. Couple old faces, couple old friends. Bands on the stage, kicking off the night. She's in the front row, she's the highlights of night. Weekend's wide open and the city comes alive. Red clay on my boots, new song in my veins. Laughing in the dark, no need for last names. We ride these nights on the hood of my car. Anywhere we land is right where we are. This is
That is the Chris Lozano band with Back Road Nights. What was the inspiration to that song? You shared a little bit previous, but what was this is how I'm going to write this song?
You know, the songs I wrote, you know, before this actually were, you know, Boots on Sacred Ground, Half the Man, I wrote for my dad, and Queen of My Wild Heart, one I wrote for my wife, and they were kind of more laid back and everything too. But this one, I wanted to put something together that was more of a, you know, in your face kind of, you know, let's just have some fun, chill out, you know, just rock it out, you know. And I figured, you know, I've talked about certain aspects of my life and my songs. I want to put all of them together, a lot of them together, you know. And like I mentioned, back home, growing up in Colorado, Western Colorado, small little coal mining town called Paonia, Colorado. My class was so small. Well, it was big for my school with 40 people. So, I mean, and all we had to do out there was just, you know, you go drink beer and try not to get caught, you know, try not to get caught by the cops or, you know, whatever, go fishing, tubing down the river, whatever. But and then, you know, growing up and everything, riding my dad's truck, you know, with my wife next to me and everything and all that. And then obviously the music portion of it, you know, us loading in, you know, getting on stage, you know, the bar's all, you know, jumping and everything. And, you know, we're up just on there rocking out, you know, my wife's still right there, right next to my side, you know, she's right there in front, you know, watching us and everything. So I want to put all that together, you know, all aspects of it and just have fun with it, you know.
The title for it was like, for me, growing up in Cody, Wyoming, and we all had, you know, the 5-speed on the floor. You decide whether it was a Ford, a Dodge, or a Chevy, and we would go hit roads that weren't roads, and we would drive all night long, exploring with, you know, maybe a box of something that sounded like Keystone or something like Yellowstone, Keystone, something like that, but all night long. And that's what we did. So it was like, that was our culture. That's what we grew up with. And you coming from Colorado, I know it's the same lifestyle.
It absolutely was, man. It was driving, sneaking out at night, going driving and just chilling out. And then
we didn't even have to sneak. That's the crazy part. It wasn't even sneaking. It was just, this is what I may be home in the next week. So mom and dad, and they knew that. And so we, gosh, and we'd go.
I was a little different. When I was driving a 67 Volkswagen Squareback, and if I hit a pothole, you'd have to bring your truck to pull me out.
Right there in Chicago, huh, Frank?
Yeah, and there was a lot of potholes too.
What was a back road night for you in Chicago?
Back road night?
Yeah.
I'd have to drive like 40 miles to get a back road night.
Oh man.
I could do a back alley night.
Yeah. Is that when was the first time you got to enjoy the delicious flavors of Malort?
Oh God, don't start with that swill again. Jeez.
It is.
That is I can't imagine how you like that.
It's a tradition in my facilities. It is the pool tax. You can't get in the pool unless you take a tug, and that's the rules. That's just the rules.
We must have a pretty empty pool because that stuff's nasty.
It's cool. Chris, have you ever tried Malort?
I have not. No.
Thank God.
From the sound of it, I'm pretty glad I don't.
Yeah, you wouldn't be singing anymore because it'd burn your vocal cords right out.
That's not accurate information. That's not.
Just
Phil loved your squarebacks back in the day, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could barely afford gas, and it was 40 cents a gallon.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother conversation. We're not going to go there, though. Chris Lozano. Oh, wait. That's not Frank. You want? No, I looked. There's no news. That's all good because we weren't even planning on you being here. That's good.
Phil likes the squarebacks.
I said that already.
I didn't hear you. You got talking to this year.
Yeah, I know. What is tell us about the overall vision of Chris Lozano Band and what you guys want to get done. What's the passion and where you think you're going?
Passion for me, man, is I want to get out there to more audiences. I want to get out there to more people, and bring my music to them. I mean, every artist, they have that vision and everything too. Mine, though, I want to make it more of a personal experience, so to speak. I already told people, because out here in California, Southern California, only reason I'm out here is because, we got retired out here, medically retired, and my kids are supposed to go to school here. That's another conversation. But the vision for us is like out here, there's a lot of places that won't book us anymore because they think we're too big, to come play for them and all that stuff. They can't afford us. They can't do it. And I told them, I was like, I don't care how big we are. This is our home area. We're always going to come play for you guys no matter what, same price, who cares, But that's me, I see all these guys doing these artists doing the small little bar tours, I guess they call them. And I'm like, if I get that big, that's exactly what I want to do too. It's not about, we're going to make the money. If you get that big, you're going to make that money. But for the people that can't go, why not bring the show to them? That's what I want to do. My music and all that stuff. Yeah, it's going to be great to go play, huge stadiums and stuff like that if I ever get to that point. But it's always going to be great too that if I do ever get to that point, before the shows even go on and everything, get there, get to like 4 or 5 or 3 days ahead of time, find all the little pubs and everything there, or all the little bars, whatever, and just show up with the band and say, hey, can we play? And just do it, because that's where you build your relationships at. And that's what we want to do. It's not just about selling the tickets and money, which it is, obviously it's a business, but it's also about making sure people understand you're still human. It's all about.
Who do you want to play for?
Who do I want to play for? Like, are you talking about crowd wise and stuff?
I'm going deep here. I'm like, what is, like, when you're going fishing, what would you be happy with at the end of the day? What is your lunker? Who are you playing for?
If you're talking about crowds, who do I want to play for? I want to play for all the people that want to go to the music, but they can't. You know what I mean? They want to go to the big shows, but they can't afford it. They want to take their kids to the show because maybe we're one of their favorite artists, but they can't afford it. I want to go to them.
Come on out to West Virginia, brother.
Hey, we're trying, actually, believe it or not. West Virginia, Kentucky, and Virginia.
That'd be cool.
We're really trying to. Yeah. But yeah, that's the people I want to play for, honestly. I want to get out there, do the tours, all that stuff. But if we have time on tours, the band and I talked about it. Okay, if we have time, we don't have to do anything else but just chill out the next day or the day before, whatever. Let's go find a small club, see if we can play.
I'll tell you what, the entire state almost had a really bad time with weather a couple weeks ago, and the governor declared a state of emergency across the entire state. Mm-hmm. And I don't know what they're doing fundraising wise or anything like that, but man, if there's anybody that could use a lift, it'd be folks around central West Virginia that lost everything.
And that's another reason, we'd like to do something like that. It's when you get to that certain point in your life where you could just wake up in the morning and say, you know what, I think I'm going to go to Italy today. I'm going to go get in the jet, or I'm going to do that. When you're that rich, or you have that much money, I ain't going to say any major artist names, but they know who they are. Yeah. It's when you get to that point in life, you start to realize there's people out there do need help. Let's take that time, go be human. That's what I'd like to do. Go help people like that. Put on a show. Yeah. Why? Bring up their character, bring up their morale, not character, but morale, let them know that, we're still thinking about them. And while we're out there, help them out. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and that goes to the military families too. Those are the people I want to play for. I know military families have it hard on base, trying to survive and everything too, trying to get these kids going to where they need to and all that stuff. Why not bring a show to them?
Oh, wouldn't that be cool if you could put together like 3 or 4 bands and just go around to bases and do concerts on bass?
Well, it's actually in the process of being put together.
No way.
So, yeah.
That's so
can't
cool.
Can't go in much detail about it because we're still in the embryo stage of it, so to speak. But it's actually in the works. We're trying to do something like that.
When I was at the Pentagon, Gary Sinise came with the Lieutenant Dan band.
Mm-hmm.
And he just set up in the courtyard in the middle of the Pentagon and played for like an hour and a half or 2 hours. And when he was done, anybody who wanted an autograph that stayed, he made his band stay there till every last person that wanted an autograph got one. It was amazing. Just a great guy.
Yeah, he's. I've heard so much about him. Sorry, my corgi's over here being bossy.
You're good.
So, but we're not gonna start on that one either. But yeah, I mean, something like that. That's something I would love to do. You know what I mean? Yeah. I know guys in my bands are, they're going, oh, let's get out here and tour. Let's get around and do all that stuff too. But we can tour all you want. But what if we're not really meeting the people? We're just playing to them. I mean, what's the point of actually putting on the show then?
Yeah, that's cool.
Well, I'm assuming you're not a self-made person, and I know that it doesn't sound like the dollar signs are what you're chasing here. But at the end of the day, and again, I'm not trying to poo-poo this, you got to get your band to where they need to go. You got to have housing. Everyone's got to eat. I mean, these are all rational, real life.
Yeah, it is.
And everyone's got bills to pay, and that.
So
one of the things we've struggled with is we've had the opportunity, because every week we get to bring a boots on the ground organization, and we get to bring a musician. Well, we've created this little network of musicians and organizations that need fundraising, and they all want these bands. They want Chris Lozano to come play in their space, and they want to. And I'm like, we've got to get. Don't want to get too deep into this, but they're nonprofits trying to raise money, and so they need to cut all the costs they can, but they expect the musician. And I've said from day one, they can't do that, folks. Mm-mm. They still need to feed their families at the end of the day. Now, do we need to Taylor Swift this? Sorry, I'll throw that name out there. I mean, it seems like she's got all the things, but you got to realize she's also got a staff that can fill a stadium as well. So each and every single one of those people needed to be paid in the process as well. It doesn't come. We were going to do an event up here, and there was an artist that you might know him as like a Morning Danish kind of person. And he said, I'll donate my time, but I still got to pay for my people. Totally get it. And I wouldn't even ask you to donate your time either, brother. That's the reality. But that was still $750,000 to bring that artist to our space. And again, I don't know a nonprofit anywhere that can. We need to have the corporations come aside and say, hey, this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to get our name out. Maybe a few less CEOs making 7-figure bonuses and stuff like that. That's where I'm going. But of course, I wouldn't want anyone digging in my back pocket saying, hey, you should do this as well.
No. Because last year we did a lot of shows, and most of our shows were out of state. So we did our little tours and all that stuff. That was one thing we always made sure we had. I always made sure my guys were paid. They had rooms. They had transportation, and even after the airfare and all that stuff, they still got their pay. So that's how we work our stuff when we do travel. I make sure everything is covered on top of our pay, and that's before we're label 22 and everything like that. That's how we structure our stuff. We still do structure that stuff. My goal is to get big enough where I can do that though. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody's getting paid, doing all that stuff and everything too. But you know, my guys and my drummer's been with me for 14 years. So him and we have the same kind of vision of what we want to do. As a matter of fact, my 5 songs that I got right now, he's my drummer. That he went to Nashville with me and RCA Studios and recorded. He's my drummer on the song. So he knows where I'm going with when it comes down to that stuff. He knows I'm a musician, but at the same time, my wife and I are business orientated to where we figure everything out like that. So, and even if we have to cut costs, we'll look like 2 or 3 other shows that we can line up with it. You know, that way we still make some, if not a little bit more. You know, so so if we had to come in, you know, and like for instance, I'm going to throw a number out there. Okay, I have no problem. We played a show Midwest that we charged. Excuse me. We charged $8,500, and that 85 covered our airfare. It covered our hotel. It covered our room, and covered gas, obviously, and stuff like that. And my guys came home with a pretty good chunk of change in their pocket. You know, so and that's how we work our stuff. But if we don't have those, we're only making like maybe 5. You know, they're only going to pay us 5 a show. That's fine. Then we look up, like we had 2 or 3 lined up, like I said, but those paid us almost like 2,000 or 3,000 each. You know, so we actually came back with just a little extra money, but you know, other than our regular pay. So I mean, that's how we orientate our stuff. You know, and like I said, I want to get big enough in the music to where I could literally, if we are playing the stadium, you know, my guy, everybody in my staff, all my crew, everybody's getting paid. But we take time off just to go, let's go party with just the locals that can't go to the show. You know what I mean? Let's just show up. If there's a band playing, ask them, hey, you guys still get your pay? Can we play? You know what I mean? And just even have them play with us. Who cares? You know, that's what kind of mentality we have as a band. So.
Heck, I made 7 figures in 2 weeks. I cut 4 yards 1 week and 3 yards the next.
That's awesome, man. So, but yeah, but I do understand what you're saying. I really do. You know, it is the reality that you have to pay everybody. So if I can get that big, I do want to do something like that.
Well, let's get you taken care of, brother. Let's get you out there and let's get you promoted and do all the things.
Absolutely.
Give us a lead into this last song.
Which one was it again? I'm sorry.
You're good. Freedom Leads.
Oh, Freedom Leads Away?
Yep.
Freedom Leads Away. That is a song I got to watch on TV. I usually don't watch TV. I usually don't. But I got to watching like news and stuff like that. My son was showing me some videos on YouTube, what was going on in the world. And you know, as being an 03, you see so much hatred across the world. Stuff that's normal people shouldn't even see. You know, and it's not normal to see it, but you see the evil that's out there. But you also see in the hardest times some of the kindest people that are still out there, you know. And my message with this song was, you know, it doesn't matter what they're saying. You know, it doesn't matter who's trying to turn who against who. You know, we're all in this together. You know, we all need to come together as one and realize that, you know, it's not the Hispanic race, the Asian race. It's not the the white way, whatever you want to call it and everything. We're a human race. That's what we are. You know, and so it doesn't matter how hard the times are going to get. It doesn't matter what people say. As long as we have each other's back, nobody's going to break us. You know, and that's the way it should be.
It scares me, and this gets down a path that it scares me in the fact that I feel that people are so blind that I feel that it's the separation that is the goal, and that if you can maintain conflict, then the separation will always be there. And it really sucks because we get this narrative. You can't say that because this is what you identify as. You can't say that because this, and it's just like, oh my gosh, I don't care. Honestly, I don't care. If it's important for you to care, then I get it and I understand. I don't know how to do anything else other than treat you. I as a good person am going to treat you the way I think a good person should be treated.
Yeah, exactly.
If you require me to label you something I don't understand and I can't see and I can't figure out on my own, I'm sorry. You can tell me, and I won't negotiate with you on that. But I mean, easiest way is I'm going to identify you as what I see. And really, in most cases, I'm identifying whether you seem to be a good person or a bad person by your actions and by what comes out of your mouth, period. Period. Yeah, if you stop looking at your son's TikTok, okay? Don't do that.
Yeah.
I'm joking. Tell him to quit looking at it too. I don't know. I don't have a solution or an answer to this because I sit there and I'm like, I sit there and I'm like, why can't we figure this out?
Yeah, and that's the thing is that unless we all realize that we are the only thing that's stopping the evil to actually succeed, so to speak, as in general, as Americans, as just the human race in general, we're the only ones standing between them. So the stronger we get together, nothing like that's ever going to happen. So,
the problem is people spend more time trying to figure out what they can disagree with instead of finding things that they can agree with. There's always something that you can find that you agree with someone on. I mean,
I would prefer not to disagree about anything. I don't care. I don't know enough about anything that I really have an opinion where I'm like, oh my gosh, it's got to be like this.
Yep.
Yeah, but the disagreement is what sparks the arguments, which fosters and grows the separation.
And the way to stop the arguments is just walk away.
I don't care enough to disagree. That's the whole thing. I guess that's where I lie at the end of the day. I don't care enough. Did you get everything out for your song? I'm sorry. We kind of got on another tangent there, brother.
Yeah, actually, I did. That's the message I was trying to get across on that song, and just I hope people can relate to it, and if they don't like it, hey, I'm sorry, but it's what I wrote and it's what I feel,
I like it already.
There's another tangent I want to go on, but we'll do it after the song. This is Chris Lozano, Freedom Leads the Way.
Sunrise over cornfields, boots on the red dirt, heart on my sleeve, worn out dog tags, a faded old flag, stories and scars only I believe. Mama's prayers and pictures from home kept me strong when the nights got cold. A brother's hand, a stranger's smile, remind me what I'm fighting for. We all bleed the same, no matter where we're from. When the world gets heavy, we don't come undone. Here's to the ones who served, to the dreamers and the brave, to standing side by side, no matter what they say. Raise your voice, let freedom ring. We're stronger when we stand as one, living free, loving proud. We find our strength in love, not hate. I've walked through fire, I've tasted lost. I've seen hope in a stranger's eyes. From city lights to back road towns, we're all reaching for the same sunrise. Old wounds heal, new days come. We write our stories line by line. Every color, every creed, we're all woven in the same design. We all bleed the same, no matter where we're from. When the world gets heavy, we don't come and the lines aren't drawn too deep. I'll reach across and take your hand, 'cause unity's what sets us free. We're more than just a headline, we're more than black or white. We're the promise in the sunrise, we're the fire in the fight. Here's to the ones who serve, to the dreamers and the brave, to stand side by side, no matter what they say. Raise your voice, let freedom ring, stronger when we stand as one. Living free, loving proud, we find our strength in love, not hate, not hate. Hand in hand, we're one nation under the same wide open sky.
That is Chris Lozano. There's a quote that I saw today, and I've noticed that folks love honest people until they meet one. Then suddenly they are rude, too blunt, mean as hell, and they could have said it nicer. Reality is they don't want honesty. They want to lie polite enough to keep their ego comfortable.
Absolutely.
I think that's where we're living right now. And I really wish I had a solution other than I'm going to keep doing what I'm going to be here every Sunday at 1800 Central Standard Time, and we are going to keep a positive mindset. The version of us tomorrow is going to be better than the version of us today. We're going to shine the beacon, and we're going to take care of as many people as we can. And that is our mission. And you know what? I work with some very extreme one way or the other groups. Very extreme. And it doesn't matter. Both wings are part of the same bird, and that's the reality. And I wish we would stop the conflict. I wish we would stop the badgering. I wish we would stop planting the seeds that get people going. And I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I think the first qualifier for a conspiracy theorist is saying you're not a conspiracy theorist. But I'm absolutely asinine blown away by how the general media likes to spin stories. And even now here's my biggest political talk, and this is on both sides, folks. The first thing everyone wants to do in the political world right now is say the other person's name and what they are doing wrong. What I wish we could get to is say, you come and you share your platform, and it doesn't matter what other people are doing. This is what I'm going to do, period. And then you know what? Be held accountable to your words, and if you don't follow through, then you're not going to be there the next time. But I'm done with pointing the finger at every single person and saying, this is what they did, this is what they did, this is what they did. And then it's all spun on lies half the time anyway. Both sides. I'm going to say that. Okay, I'm done. I'm going to be done.
There's one thing I do want to say that I was always told, and I do my best to live by, because I'm not perfect. I get frustrated on stuff, but at the same time, I always hear this in my back of my head, and it's my granddad that told me this. So if you do something wrong, you can point all the fingers you want to somebody. Oh, is their fault? Is their fault? But keep in mind, you have 3 other fingers pointing right back at you. And I'm talking that are on your hand. And I was like, I understand. And I thought about that, and I was like, yeah, I understand that now. He goes, you might say they're wrong, but are you really perfect? No. Keep that in mind, and that's something my granddad always told me. And that's the way I kind of look at stuff, People have their opinions, and that's the reason why we did what we did. It's so they can have their opinions. And as long as they have their opinions, I'm happy because my brothers didn't die in vain, because they did what they had to do.
I agree with you, brother. Chris, I don't think we've got to know enough about you, but I'm excited to know that we started a relationship that we will get to learn more about you as this continues and as we grow.
Absolutely.
We're kind of at the point where we have to get to shutting the show down, and we do what's called final thoughts.
Okay.
And in final thoughts, during hopefully now when we have 5 of us on the screen, we banter different thoughts, opinions, ideas, and everything. And it's amazing the amount of times we have a connection or opportunity of growth during those opportunities. It was you and me for a big chunk of the night, which wasn't bad. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and we're really excited to put Chris Lozano out there. We're super excited that Frank was able to jump in.
Absolutely.
And again, our hearts are with you and your family. I didn't share any deets, just so you know. And that's going to be, but we're going to be, this is where we bring our final thoughts together and what we're getting out of this evening. Frank, go ahead and start it, brother.
Well, it's another one of those days where, you see things happening and you just shake your head and try to figure out the why. And this has nothing to do with where I was, in the last 3 or 4 days. It has to do with my trip back. And I've ran into some folks that were a little reluctant to show any type of brotherly love to anybody, and just were kind of pushy and nasty. And, well, I have never been one to shy away from speaking my mind. And so I addressed one of these young people and I said, why is it that you're trying to just run into people and to get to where you want to go? Don't you have any compassion and feeling for the people that you're bumping into and causing problems? And they said, well, we have to get to our flight. And I said, well, don't you think that the other people are experiencing the same thing? And I guess my point of all this is, before you do something that's not nice or correct, try to think of the other person and, what is it that they're going through, or why is it that they're going slow? And maybe you can rationalize in your mind that you should be a little bit considerate for other folks. And I think that's something that as a community we're sorely lacking in these days. And yes, I'm old. I'm older than dirt, and darn it, I'm gonna start acting like dirt again, because at least dirt gets walked on and it knows why. Have a great week ahead, folks. Love you all.
You too, Frank.
Chris, final thoughts.
Final thoughts, man, after everything, and just today meeting with you guys and everything, it's made me realize that, what, there are still people out there that care, that care for our military, our veterans, and all that stuff. And it's not just me and people I know around here, but, so it makes me a little more at ease. Going on what Frank said is, thinking about what other people, what they're going through in life, that also starts, as a veteran, we all need to realize too, that also starts here in your house, your own home. We have our certain thoughts, the way we do stuff, we think about it, but in all reality, it's not us in this house. It's your family too. So, not, if you're going to treat, people nice out in town, treat your family nice too. Realize that they're the only ones that's going to be there at the end. Everything we do on a given day comes and goes, but the one thing that will always be by your side, no matter what, is your family, through thick and thin. Whether you're estranged from your family or what, build that relationship back up, because at the end, you're the only ones who are going to have each other. So, and that's my final thought on everything, that I want to get out there for everybody.
We have been blessed by you tonight, Chris, and your craft. Thank you for being here. You are always welcome to be in this space whenever. Again, you can hear Chris Lozano on WeP3 Radio, and again, his Spotify channel's out there for you. Frank, thank you for coming in tonight. I thank the WeP3 team for all the hard work they're doing behind the scenes. There's a lot of things going on. Just to rattle off some quick, we will be here tomorrow at 16:30 for the WeP3 weekly debrief, where we share all the things that the People's Patriot Project is working on. Just on the monthly, we're running the Minnesota Monthly Muster. There's a firearms and safety class that we're doing with WeP3 and Johnny Holiday. We have a fall market coming up on October 3rd. The Rucking Grapes of Wrath is coming up on October 24th. I had a hard time remembering that. It's a fundraiser ruck march for the People's Patriot Project. Reads Across America event, December 19th. But we got to get all those sponsored now. And coming this March 29th, we're working on the Minnesota State Vietnam Veterans Day here for the state of Minnesota. Plates are full, but again, the mission is strong. That doesn't even take into account the daily asks that we have coming into us, getting updates from not Frank, gosh, I'm losing my mind. Phil, on one of our people that was needing supports, and then the WeP3 team who are looking out there on social media and other places to accommodate the need of veterans and first responders across not just Minnesota, but the entire country. I don't feel that our veterans and first responders are broken, and we just come in beside them and continue the walk with them, and we're not here to fix them. We're here to join in their journey, and we hope that more will join in our journey. And that's what we do. Chris, thank you for being here again tonight. I see nothing but positives, and then it's the classic. We have this conversation. Why ain't you on the big radios? We'll get that figured out. We'll keep doing it. We'll get your stuff out there. We'll keep promoting your work as much as we can. We like to know what events you're doing, and we'll get that out there. We'll also show you something with the graphene dome when you have time. Got a lot of stuff, folks. Remember, live the life you deserve, man, and get what you deserve. There's a lot of people that say that they should have a lot more. Well, did you do the work? Remember, go check your six. And if you got time to hang out for a minute, Chris, we'll talk real quick after we'll call them credits. They're not really credits, but we'll get out of here. Check your six. Patriot Pride.